Hi, everyone. My name is Dana, and this is episode 33 of the Ask a Question Show, the show in which you ask a question about any type of narcissistic or otherwise abusive or toxic relationship or situation. And I, along with the rest of the community here, will do our very best to help answer it. Our goal is to give you the feedback and the support that you need so that you can move forward in getting the clarity, the closure, and the healing that you so deserve. Sorry, my throat is really dry. I'm burning incense and it's yeah. So, okay, today's question comes from a commenter. I'll call her just Love. That's part of her name. So, she asks, Love asks, Dear Dana, I joined a gym in May, which is pretty posh, but you know what? I gave that gift to myself and worked with the trainer to lose weight, and it helped me to get my head on straight. I had isolated myself due to my ex covert narcissist who left me for another woman and moved out of state. I'm finally living for me now, and now that he sees that I'm doing well in all aspects, he wants to come back to me. I'm guilty for venting to him and telling him that I still loved him, but go back and forth on the matter, which frustrates both of us. Now he tells me that the other woman is hated by his family. Crazy. Is he still lying so that he can get love from me and financial support? I'm worried I won't meet another man. I want to have children, but the clock is really ticking. I was happy with him for many years, up until the last 3 or 4 when he really started to change, where it was evident. Should I give him a second chance or should I move on? Okay, let me fix my shirt here. Sorry. Okay, you ask a lot of great questions, and let me just kind of go through them point by point here. So if there's like squeaking, it's because it's the couch that I'm sitting on. I always wonder if you guys can hear that every time I move. But okay, so you mentioned he upped and left you for another woman. That so he was cheating on you, right? And he upped and left you for somebody else, and which means he was also lying to you if he was cheating on you. And it also means that he had little to no regard for your feelings because he upped and left you. And he didn't respect you. And so there was a lot of bad behavior besides just cheating, right? And the fact that he still apparently has that same bad behavior because now he's cheating on his new girlfriend with you emotionally, right? You guys are having this conversation. He's telling you that he loves you. He's planning on up and leaving her for you, which is exactly what he did to you. So, you know, this this guy obviously has this pattern of behavior, and for kind of definitely for that reason, me personally, I would close that door and nail it shut. Don't need that. You don't need that in your life, and I don't think anybody needs that. Or, it's a relationship with a person that has those kinds of behaviors, it's never going to end well because they're very selfish. And especially, it sounds like you have clarity on that he's a covert narcissist. So there's probably a lot of other behaviors that you didn't mention in that question. And if he's a covert narcissist, then again, these relationships by definition, they are incredibly destructive and can be very dangerous. So I think it would be I think it's a huge mistake to even consider entertaining the idea of trying to have a relationship with this person, let alone having a child with them, unless you really want to have a ton of hurt and heartache in your life and having to explain to your child why daddy upped and left again for a second or a third or a fifth time and ran off with some other woman, or why daddy had all this bad behavior, or all this stuff. These people don't really ever stop doing what they're doing. And I hate to speak in such like kind of judgmental terms like that, but the truth is a person has to have a sincere and lasting desire to change in order to actually change. So just giving words to that, like, oh, I really want to have a family with you, doesn't mean anything because they're highly manipulative. So to even entertain the possibility of a relationship with this guy, which I personally believe would be a huge mistake, to entertain this idea, you would need to see lasting change. I would even recommend that you talk to the girlfriend, because my guess is his family doesn't hate her. And my guess is things are probably fine between them, and she has no idea what's coming, just like your dynamic where he just upped and left you out of the clear blue for another woman. So, once a person does this once, they tend to do things again. And there is a term for this. It's called managing down of expectations. And it's basically where when a victim stays in that cycle of idealize, devalue, discard, that's kind of the cycle of narcissistic abuse. The longer they stay in it, the more kind of ridiculous, terrible behavior like this becomes the new normal. And so I would encourage you to examine it kind of through that lens of, is this something that you would have put up with 5 years ago? And my hope is that you would say absolutely not. So then the next question would be, well, why are you entertaining the idea of putting up with it now? And if you're entertaining the idea of putting up with it now because you want to have kids and the clock is ticking, then it's a terrible reason to let a snake back into your life, right? Because you want this idea of a family. The fantasy of a family that you want is not what you're going to get with that person. So just know that. So it sounds like you've done a ton of work. You're going to the gym, you're losing weight, you're on track with your life. Please don't, I would just strongly encourage you, like, don't derail yourself. Don't do this to yourself. Cut off contact with this guy. Tell him, and of course it's not going to go well. He's going to tell you everything that you want to hear in order to come back. I wouldn't be surprised. These people, it's not uncommon for them to like go to great lengths for him to show up on your doorstep to prove a point that he really does love you. I would encourage you to have solid enough standards and boundaries for what you're looking for and what you feel that you deserve in your life, to not even get tangled up with the riffraff nonsense of all of this. And to have enough self-respect that you're not getting tangled up in it. Because the fact that you're, talking to him and you guys are professing your love together, you're disrespecting yourself because you're getting involved with a man who's not emotionally or even physically available, one. And then two, you're disrespecting this other woman who I'm sure is an innocent party in a lot of this, right? She's been manipulated like you. I'm sure he told her a ton of stuff about you, and why he upped and left you and ran off with her, right? So it's just a lot of like tangled up boundaries and standards for the two of you, for sure. Needing to realize what you want to tolerate and what you don't want to tolerate in your life. And you also mentioned you were happy until 3 or 4 years ago when you really started to see that his change in this behavior was evident. My guess is it's not a change in behavior that you saw. It's that his behavior became so significant that there was like no denying it or justifying it. People don't unless they have some sort of like head injury, they don't have some sort of massive behavior change where all of a sudden they become this person who's lying and cheating and stealing. That doesn't happen. It's a pervasive pattern of behavior, and it just tends to escalate, especially if they know that their partner's going to stick around, right? So if you've stuck around for being upped and left before, he's probably going to up and leave you again. And then this behavior is going to just continue spiraling downwards until next thing you know that you're really in this really wild situation with a ton of bad behavior. And you're really going to wonder, how on earth did I get here? And how did I allow all of this? But this is how this happens. So a lot of this is nipping this in the bud early on. And, ideally, when he upped and left you for somebody else, that's when healthy boundaries and standards would have said, hey, absolutely not. I'm not taking you back because I could never trust you, right? And without trust, there is no relationship. And if you treat me in a way that's not only distrusting, but where I can't trust you, there's no dignity, there's no respect, there's no compassion, there's no kindness, there's no thought to me and my feelings. What? Like, done. Drive on. That's my 2 cents. So I'll be curious to see what everybody else has to say. And yes, any other questions, comments, concerns, frustrations, feedback, insights, ideas, you need some support, you just want to say hi, contact info is down below. The support group is also down below. That is the best way to get hold of me. And as always, you guys, lots of love to you. You are not alone. You are not crazy, and you really can move forward and you can heal from this. Okay, so take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.